has said so much more about us. God has said many things about us. We don't need to worry about what others say. We don't need to worry about the trials when they come. We need to trust in God. And we need to serve Him. We need to do what we know we can do for Him. And when it comes to that trial, He's going to help us. But if not, we're still doing what He has to do. Number 4, taking a stand angers the enemy even more. Taking a stand angers the enemy even more. In verse 19, then was Nebuchadnezzar furious, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should be the fiery furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heated. Have you ever had someone that's visage has changed against you? I'm a parent, and that happens quite often. There's times when you tell your children not to do something, and there's a time to tell your children not to do something, and you give them that look. You know what I'm talking about? Where they better not do it again. When you say stop, and you give them that look, then they know that dad or mom means business. That there's sometimes that there's that voice, and there's that visage, that face or facial expression of a person. And it says that his countenance, his visage changed. See, he's already enraged that just by hearing that they had not bowed. And now they've given them a second chance. And then they had just boldly said, whether you give us a second chance or not, we're still not going to bow. We're still not going to argue. His face just totally changed. And he was just full of anger and rage. Sometimes what we stand is making him mad. But we still going to take that stand. We still going to stand up for Christ. And in the Bible it says that they commanded that the fiery furnace would be heated 17 times than what it would want to be heated. And that word 7 times, this term means that the furnace would be as hot as it heated. 7 being a perfect number in the Bible means that this fire would have been as hot as it possibly could be. 7 times, you see my words, 7 times more than it wanted to be heated. That's a hot fire. And the king was so angry, so upset, that he said, we're going to heat as hot as we can get. We're going to make a fire. I love fire. It's one of the funnest things for a man to play with fireworks. Just light anything on fire. And this guy said, we're going to heat this fire as hot as we can get. I'm angry. We're just going to set it on fire and let you guys burn. His visage had changed. And he'd been angered because they had taken a stand. Sometimes when we take a stand, it angers them. The thing that I want you to find is that God takes care of the enemies that bind us. It says in verse 22, therefore, because the king's command was urgent, and the furnace was exceeding hot, the flames of the fire slew those men and took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You ever have someone that just holds you back? You ever have that person that they just hold you back? They never let you do what God really wants you to do. They just hold you back. That they're always stepping in the way of what God is doing in your life. They're always testing your last nerve sometimes. That there are abundance sometimes. That we try to have a good mood. We try to make sure that everything's going perfect and fine. And then there's that person get around and all of a sudden everything was fine. And now their mood changed our mood to being angry and upset. There's always those people that bind us and pull us down. God takes care of those things. And Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, they had found themselves being bound by these men carried to the fire and lifted up to throw them into the fiery furnace. And they found that God slew them and caught them on fire because they lifted them up into the fire. They were the ones that found. They were the ones that took them to the fire. They were the ones that obeyed the evil king that told them to do this. And God said, because you obeyed this evil king, I'm going to take care of you. And he slew those men, those enemies that try to hold us back. God takes care of those. God's always watching. Every situation, every circumstance, He's always watching. He's always looking out for you. You don't have to worry. He's always looking out for you. You don't have to worry. God takes care of your enemies that bind you. And God is with us through the test. God is with you through the test. We find that Azariah, his name, means God helped me. That God is not a God that just lets you go and just lets you go through it yourself. He doesn't create a test that's not going to get down and get dirty with you. He's not a God that's just going to lets you go at it. I found that there's never a job that I can't do that I can get into it and I just let someone else do it. I'm hands-on guy. I have to do something. I always feel like if someone's doing something, I can't just sit back and just watch them do it and not help. And God is that way. We are like that sometimes because God is that way. He sits back and gives you a test, and I'm going to test them. I'm going to test them. And I'm going to give this huge test. I'm going to test their spiritual strength. I'm going to put through something in their life that's going to just really see how well they trust me. He makes that test, and He creates that test, and He places it in our life. But He doesn't just leave us alone. He doesn't just say, all right, here's your test, and I'm going to sit back, watch, and see how you do. He gets in the middle. And gets right down where it's dirty and where it's hard, and He helps us. We find this is true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. As the king looks into the fire, and he's, didn't we throw 3 men? Did we not throw 3 men in this fire? Look, I see 4, and the 4th is like to the Son of God. God gets into the middle of our mess, in the middle of our test, and He helps us. And Azariah's name means God helps me. His name came in right into this, that God helps me. God's not someone that's going to just let you go. You don't have to go it alone. You don't have to carry your burdens alone. God is with you. God is merciful. God is gracious. God is in with you. Come unto me, all you that are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon me. Burden is easy, and my yoke is light. God gets in the middle of it when He says, come to me. Just come unto me. I'm going to be in it with you. You don't have to carry that burden alone. God helps us. Number 7. The enemy has no power over you. The enemy has power over you. God is in the middle of it. God is helping us. There's no enemy that's formed against that can prosper. God is right in the middle of it, and the enemy can have no power. No power. And the princes and the governors, 27, the captains, the kings, counselors, being gathered together, saw these men upon whose bodies the fire had no power. Their enemy at this point is the fire. And it says that their bodies, the fire had no power. Now, fire is a powerful thing. Fire can light cans. Fire can shoot bottle rockets. Fire can burn down houses. Fire can make gas stations explode. Fire is a very powerful source. But the fire had power over them. Many of us really understand the power of fire at a young age when we touch something that's hot. And we realize that when we burn our hands, that fire has some power over our body. Because we can be burned. It is stronger than we are. Because we are human. We are human. And we have this ability to die. And that fire is dangerous to us. But it said that this fire, God was in the middle of it with them. God was helping them. And that fire had no power over them. God has control of the situation. And the enemy has no power over you. You might be going through a test right now. You might be going through a burden. You might be going through a sickness. But God's saying, if you're really truly mine, it's a test that I'm putting you through, and I'm in trouble. Your enemies, they don't have any power over you. Your enemies have no control over you. No power. No power at all. Romans 8:31-30 says this, what shall we say then to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Who shall lay anything to charge of us? It is God that justifies. Who is he that condemned? It is Christ that died, right? That is risen again. Who is even at the right hand of God, who also made an intercession for us? Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword? As it is written, for they that say we are killed all day long. We're counted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him that loved us. Nothing. When God is nothing separate us from God. Nothing has power over us. If God is for us, nothing can be against us. Nothing. God is controlled. And He has no power over you. The enemy cannot stand against you. The enemy cannot put his hand on you. When Job was going through his test, we remember Job, that the devil came before God and he had to ask God's permission to touch Job. And that's how it is in your life. When you go through a test, if this devil trying to touch you, you got to get God's permission. You got to go through God. And He has no power over you that God has not given. Nothing can be against us when we're on God's side.